Welcome back, everyone, to the EGF Big East Esports Invitational. This is week number 4. I am in Greek. I also go by George. With me tonight is Navik. Kevin, thank you for coming in here, being my play-by-play. We're going to have a fantastic matchup. We have St. John's University going up against Xavier, both teams sitting at 1 and 2, trying to get the edge over each other on that leaderboard for the seeding for the LAN in New York City. And we have already 5 minutes on the clock, and they're started. This is going to be a very close one.
Yeah, we have St. John's in the blue, Xavier in that orange. Is just in time here, is starting to get a bit of a runaway. Reset past the Primal. Primal looking to set it up. Arcamp in the background. Then first demolition is coming in 15 seconds into the round. We can already see some aggressive play style coming out from St. John's.
Ooh. I'm loving the shot opportunity. Oh, wow. McWhiff had an opportunity. It doesn't matter. Moose going to finish it off here. And the offensive prowess coming from Xavier early on in this game is working out very well for them.
Yeah, no, finding that first goal, it looked like all of the momentum was in St. John's for the longest time there, but Xavier do come striking out, and finding goal 1 is, like we say every time, it's definitely where you want to be.
Yeah, you always want to start out hot, and we're going to have to see if St. John's could make something up for that one, but right now, a lot of aggression here from Xavier. I'm loving it. Our esports statistician himself, Satisfied Onion, playing for Xavier. He's been the one getting all of our stats aggregated for us. Now, I've always kind of wondered, it's kind of like if you play the banker in Monopoly and you slip yourself one of those pink 50s every once in a while. Could be maybe, I wonder if he pads his stats a little bit, but you know, we also trust him very well, of course, and he's been doing a fantastic job. We can't thank him enough.
You know, I'm never letting you be the banker in Monopoly. I'm going to be honest. As we move into this play, a rebound coming up there towards Xavier. Xavier passing it to Mushu. Mushu looking to contest Primal, but Primal is up there first and foremost as that ball does get chipped into the other corner. McWhiff playing it patiently, looking to set it up. Doesn't get it past Arcamp, though, as Arcamp gets an absolutely fantastic clear. Now there's a lot of back and forth. An aerial demolition coming out from Satisfied Onion just in time, as they do gain the momentum. Now Xavier still up a 1 goal. Satisfied Onion getting it past 1. Not going to get it past the double commit of Arcamp, and just in time now, though, as they are trying to get it past Mushu. Another demolition comes out left, right, and center. Cuz are blowing up the aggression. This is the most demolitions in the shortest span of time we've had, I believe. Also.
Here goes another one, and just so much opportunity. No, just in time. Had a free shot on net. Dodges the wrong way.
I don't know if he thought a teammate was up behind. As I say that, McWhiff is not going to McWhiff, as we see the Marshmallow Man coming out there. That is goal number 2.
Yeah, and talking about shot placement here, just in time was in net, but there's no way he's saving that one. Just so much velocity on that play. And perfect placement there, upper left 90. You're not getting to that one, folks. 2-0 lead here for Xavier early on. And they're starting out with a statement right now. They do not want to be taken lightly by this St. John's team.
Yeah, they really do not want to, as we see Xavier here starting to pull it back again. McWhiff trying to make something happen. Primal clearing it, but going to Satisfied Onion. Satisfied Onion passing it to Mushu. Mushu looking for a shot, and he doesn't just quite get the angle. That's so unfortunate.
Unfortunate indeed. We're going to see what can happen here. Arcamp trying to get a clear here, but it's the offense from Xavier. Satisfied Onion trying to bring this one around the corner. Gets bumped a little bit, put him a little off course. As now McWhiff's going to be the one in charge. Tries to Cuxier pinch it off that wall. Instead, he's actually getting a fantastic pass and shot on net. Fantastic opportunity. Mushu's going to throw another one on. Can't quite find it. No dice on the play. But 2 fantastic shot opportunities are coming out from Xavier, and they're just not slowing down.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of aggression. Satisfied Onion now getting a nice shot. It is going to hit the crossbar. McWhiff looking to follow it up, but Satisfied Onion also commits to it. Hits that sidebar. Mushu, meanwhile, demolishing just in time here. Trying to deny that boost, resetting and making sure, you know, there's not a follow-up, even if they can't succeed on this offensive play, as we see the momentum shifting slowly here towards St. John's. Oh, and just in time actually clearing it a bit too hard there. I don't think the intention was to tap it that far.
Intention kind of lost there indeed, but instead now we were going to see some Xavier offense, but now it's right back on the orange half. But watch out for Satisfied Onion. He's going to sit that one downtown. Mushu fiddling with what? Are you kidding me? Get out the protractors. How is he able to hit this angle?
The double tap coming out here, I believe this was 100% accidental, but what a phenomenal shot coming out from Satisfied Onion there. You know, if I was an Onion, I'd be pretty satisfied after that play.
Yeah, seriously. Fantastic play here coming out for Xavier, showing St. John's who's boss. We can hit any shot from anywhere on the field as Mushu trying to back up that claim. Wasn't able to find the target though.
Yeah, I thought they were about to do it again. I was about to be like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, but under a minute left here, down by 3. It's not looking too great for St. John's. As Xavier really taking control here in game 1, really setting the tone for this series. We'll have to see what they can do from here on out, but it's looking like it's heavily in favor of Xavier. With 30 seconds left, I don't know what they're going to be able to do or pull out of here in order to tie this one up.
Yeah, no, trying to tie this up is going to be definitely difficult. 20 seconds left on the clock is not a lot of goal or time per goal. And I think you do just kind of let this go. You class this as garbage time, get that mental reset, and go from there, right?
Yeah, but we're going to have to see what happens with 10 seconds left. I don't know. It's just not looking like this game 1 was really going in St. John's favor. But luckily for them, it is a best-of-5 series. There's going to be ample opportunity for them to bring it back with Xavier taking game 1 in a nice, decisive fashion.
Yeah, that's exactly what Xavier want to be seeing. And Xavier here, look at how many shots they have compared to St. John's.
No, this is fantastic. Like, take a look at it. Cast your math. Oh my goodness, 12 shots on goal. And St. John's, 1 shot is just not working out for them. You know, I always laugh at myself for my caster math. I'm supposed to be good at math. Like, I went to school and I took all these calculus classes, but when you're casting and you're trying to like put numbers together with words, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, trying to formulate a sentence does sometimes make it a bit difficult, but if we have a look over it, that's 12 goals for Xavier. That is a differential of 11 goals in favor of Xavier, right? And that's an astronomical number of just attempts on goal. It's not even goals, right? It was a 3-0. So statistically, they didn't do too great, right? They hit, what, they got 25% of their shots went in. But overall, that's still 3 goals and, what, like 110% more shots overall?
I mean, yeah, I can't verify that math, but goodness, just so much pressure. St. John's very limited on their side of the field. They're gonna have to figure it out here in game 2.
Yeah, they really, really are, as we do now start getting into game 2. The kickoff is about to start. If we're going to see a kickoff goal, we'll see it right now. Mick With managing it to win the 50-50. Gets it past Arkamp. Arkamp's flying away with barely any momentum to try and get back here. He is flipping as fast as he can, setting himself back up for his team. And oh my goodness, that rotation almost worked out really, really well into his favor as the ball lands into Mick With's hands. He gets it past one defender, fakes it past another. He doesn't have the momentum to try and set up the ball to recenter it for his teammates. But Satisfied Onion says, I might, and manages to flip it all the way over the other side. Now it's up to Mick With. If they get past him, it's going to spell out some devastating news, but they do not, fortunately, for Xavier. An aerial demolition coming out. Mick With managing to bounce that ball, stopping some of the men and trying to set it up for Mushu just in time, flipping away there, completely dunking on Mushu, making sure he doesn't even get to touch that ball.
Yeah, right away we're seeing some great offensive pressure here, but I'm very curious to see who's going to be able to score first. We've already gone a minute into the game and nothing yet. A little bit of stagnant here and there. So that ball could spell disaster. Actually, Primal hitting it across his own goal. That's scary, especially with no one back. But yeah, I mean, he knew that no one from Xavier was in a threatening position.
Yeah, and I mean, when you know that, right, you can kind of take bigger risks. If you're not threatened, you kind of commit to these high risk, high reward plays because they're not high risk if nobody's in position.
That's true. That's true. Just great game awareness here on the side of that defense. We're going to have to see what happens here. Xavier back on the offense. Mushu, last man back, is not going to have to make a relatively routine save there. He's actually going to maintain possession. But instead, now this ball still on the orange half of the field. They're not really clearing it per se. Now this could be an opportunity for St. John's. But it says it's going to go the other way.
Yeah, an opportunity is coming up, and immediately, like you said, it did go the other way. McWitt here, actually really, really good car control, right? He managed to stay in that spot, very little boost to boot, and managed to wait for his team to set him up using good advantage of his flips, and it worked out fairly well. Unfortunately, it did get cleared away very, very quickly. A lot of back and forth. Primal getting a really nice angle there, but nobody able to follow it up. McWiff now not also running out of boost just in time. And like we said before, right, when you run out of boost and you're going for those big setup plays, it's always unfortunate because it does all just kind of fall flat on its face. Arcam stealing the big boost, passing it back with a nice bicycle kick to Arcam. Primal sets it up. He gets the tap, but Satisfied Onion is going to be there. McWiff now trying to get it past the defense. Arcam saying not today as Primal clears it away. I mean, at the moment, it's so back and forth. We're seeing 0 goals. We are 2 minutes left on the clock, essentially. So, a really great... I'm not sure where this is going.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. This could be a dangerous play. Luckily, Satisfied Onion playing the defensive third, able to get back in time. Here comes a shot opportunity. Mushu could have elevated that and maybe even put that one on target. Could have been devastating for St. John's University because we're starting to go into that territory where if you score a goal here, it could be all you need to take game 2. Yeah, and St. John's working so hard to keep this ball on the orange half that when they get back on their own defensive zone, it starts to look like it hurts a little bit.
Yeah, no, Xavier, whenever they try and make it clear, right, this is, I'm having flashbacks to the last set, right? Whenever a clear was made, it was completely denied and immediately back onto their side of the field. And, oh no, this could be devastating for Xavier as they leave their goal open.
Oh, goodness, it's not just that they left this goal open, but there was just a big whiff on Satisfied Onion's part. But I think Primal actually caused that to happen, a big bump leading to that score. And it's exactly what St. John's needed to get back into the series, tie this one up, potentially if the scoreline holds.
Yeah, I mean, now with a minute left onto the clock, the onus is on Xavier to try and bring this back, right? They need to find this one goal. They need to be able to tie it up and keep their lead, at least bring it into overtime. And they've got 70 seconds to do that technically, as we see them now attempting to make a play. Arcam clearing it away. Mushu getting set up in preparation to clear this along with McWiff. McWiff passes it to Satisfied Onion. Just in time was just in time as he steals it away. I mean, Arcam now getting a really nice pinch there, managing to completely shoot the ball away, making sure nobody can get it close to that goal. I mean, the back and forth is really, really close. There's a lot of pressure being put onto St. John's, and they're managing to deflect it so well.
Yeah, but something I'm seeing that's really lacking on Xavier's side of the ball is, oh my goodness, Satisfied Onion coming through, and this is exactly what I was about to talk about, is the lack of team plays coming out here, but instead Satisfied Onion delivers the excellent pass from McWiff completely off the ceiling. It waterfalls down into his clutches, hits that one in, ties this one up, and we're looking at a potential overtime here in game 2.
Yeah, no, that was an absolutely fantastic waterfall as we are into overtime here. And as long as a major mistake isn't made by Xavier, they should just be able to run the clock down into overtime or try and score. And I mean, I'd like to see Overwatch go overtime go longer than 6 seconds.
Oh, goodness. Oh my goodness, that was the best opportunity Xavier's had in quite a bit of time, and they just let that one go completely by. Instead, we're probably going to go to overtime now, but it could have easily been a score there, and they could have gone to match point.
Yeah, unless something really funky happens at the moment. Arcam setting it up, Primal rebounding it. It looks like there's an attempt, but we see that Xavier just knocks that ball straight onto the ground going, you know what, we'll just get this into kickoff. And the kickoff does happen, lands in Arcam's claws as he manages to pass it to McWiff. McWiff clearing it away. McWiff also setting himself up as he's going to center this ball just in time, stealing it away. Goes to Satisfied Onion. Satisfied Onion gets a shot on goal. Arcam saves it. There's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of aggressive play being made as well. Xavier realize this. They back up onto that defensive rotation. Make sure that if they make a mistake, they aren't just going to immediately get scored on an empty goal. And this is going to be... I have a feeling this might be a bit of a long one, Greek.
This might be, but here comes McWiff. Has an opportunity against Arcam. Can't get it past him. And the defense coming out clutch here for St. John's. Actually, it's a potential opportunity for Arcamp. Gets it past one. Can he get it past two? Here comes Primal. The shot on net is able to get past the entire defense. And St. John's Esports, they tie up the series.
Yeah, St. John's now finding their first game in this best of 5, bringing it to a 1-1. We are now in a best of 3 series effectively as they tie it up. I mean, that was absolutely phenomenal. We got to see it go into overtime. That was a really, really fun individual game. And the stat line now is much more even.
Yeah, it is a much closer game. It just didn't look like the Xavier Esports we saw in game one as St. John's really woke up and started to bring things back a little bit, saying, hey, we just got to play our game. We just came off a shaky game one. That's okay. We still have ample opportunity in this series, and they did exactly that. So now, going into game 3, I'm very curious to see how St. John's is going to adapt from here on out. Do they keep playing this style that I think is working very well for them, where they're starting to get those team plays out and they're taking advantage of the mistakes that Xavier makes, and that's how they're scoring? Or if they're going to start get more aggressive because of this newfound, I guess, confidence that they were going to get from winning this game. On the flip side, I'm very curious to see what Xavier is going to do, because they played, I would say, a very well match. Just things didn't really fall into place for them here, as they just made 1 or 2 mistakes that really cost them. So I'm curious to see if they're going to double down on their defense, or if they're going to try to generate some more of their own offensive pressure to kind of negate that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what we need to be seeing. You know, it'd be interesting to see if they shift around that play style. And we are getting into the kickoff once again. Game number 3, 1-1 situation. So there is neither match point. A Satisfied Onion looks for a good aerial way. Did he get cleared from underneath there? I didn't see anybody else hit the ball. But
yeah,
a completely different angle.
I kind of missed that one too. It's just so fast what happened there. But again, 15 seconds into this game, we're already seeing some great action. Here comes another opportunity. Primal hitting this one into his own corner, but doesn't stop Xavier from trying to go for it. Here comes Mushu, boosting the tank, can't beat Arcamp to the ball as they meet. This ball sticks into the middle of the field.
Yeah, and there we see the team starting to set up the rotations happening. Primal, Satisfied Onion having a bit of a debacle. Immediately, Justin getting it away, dunking on his opposition, clearing that ball as soon as he tried to chip it up. And at the moment, Satisfied Onion finds himself in a 1v2 situation. Primal and Arcamp looking to try and get it away. A good pass to Mushu. Mushu to make a whip. Primal stealing it away. Satisfied Onion being patient. He's going to be able to run away.
Oh, he gets the bump.
The opposition away just in time, trying to get a fantastic save. But he just had the momentum.
He had the momentum indeed. Just in time, he was going to get the save, but he gets bumped away. Satisfied Onion doing so much on just one play to get the score, and Xavier takes the early lead.
Yeah, that was incredibly close as we see another opportunity being set up by Mick. Oh no, it actually flows backwards. Satisfied Onion though had the rotation, didn't overcommit too much there, and he was able to clear it out. And Satisfied Onion's going to get another shot on goal, bringing them up 2-0 in a minute, 5 seconds.
And again, this is the play we always see. It's this backboard shots just in time. You were there. You were on the backboard. You get that tap early on. You clear that one away. You just completely destroy the offense's capabilities, but instead it bounces right back into the clutches of Satisfied Onion, and he scores, giving Xavier a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, that lead is absolutely humongous considering how close these last 2 games have kind of been. Oh, I say the last 2. The last one was very, very close. The first one, not so much. But the last game was quite close, and getting that 2-0 lead is what happened in the first game of Xavier, right? They kind of took they took a much more dominating situation, and they just kept playing on that. They played aggressively. They kept the offense up, and Satisfied Onion here is going to try and break away with the ball again.
Oh my
finding
goodness.
it, Arcamp clearing it.
Well, I can see Xavier, they really play off their own success, and you can see they play so much better if they do get that early goal in. I think you're absolutely right on that analysis in terms of that this is a team that really just energizes themselves. And if they can get it started early on in the game, it's really tough to stop this train.
Yeah, it's definitely a mental side, right? And I think Rocket League is one of those games where the mental side of it is more important than pretty much every other esports, right? Because mechanical skill and individual play can make up for so much in so many other games. Rocket League is 6 people in a ball, and if one of your players has a bad mental state and isn't gelling with the rest of you, it falls apart.
No, absolutely. I agree with you on this one. You need your entire team focused and in the zone. It's only then that you really start to see yourself succeed, especially at this level of gameplay where teamwork matters so much. You don't see one player on these very successful teams popping off. You see the entire team really give it as McWiff able to bring it here, and this actually might be the case where you see one player kind of pop off as he's able to bring that one around our camp and get another tap to keep that one just out of clutches at just in time. And that's just a very good defensive play in itself because he prevented that ball from progressing downfield and was able to turn it into an offensive possession. So that's just how deadly the Xavier team is. Another shot coming out from McWiff as Mushu's going to try to keep it on the blue half.
Yeah, and I think just in time's a name a little bit unfortunate this time around, as he would have just been just slightly out of time as Mushu here setting it up center field. Satisfied Onion rotating backward, waiting for that clear. There isn't a clear. Oh my goodness, McWiff looking to make something happen. Satisfied Onion's there. He's going to hit the crossbar. It is going to get cleared away by Primal just in time. Bouncing it the other way, trying to get some confusion onto the opposition. Getting it past one of the defenders. Mushu's going to get a setup here. Passes it to McWiff. Satisfied Onion flying in. Gets a good angle, and it is going to go in.
And right here, it's just starting to fall apart for St. John's. Bad, but again, everyone working so hard. Look at that setup by McWiff. Fantastic job. He sees two defenders underneath him, just gives the ball just a tiny bit of loft. Gets Satisfied Onion the fantastic opportunity to get up and have a 1v1 opportunity in the net, which he takes and throws it on target. Gets the score. It's 4-0 Xavier.
Yeah, no, and and like we said earlier, right, Xavier's definitely a team where their mental game seems to be a little fragile, right? If they don't get rolling early, they kind of get themselves in a slump. If they start getting goals early, they find goal after goal after goal, and that's what we're seeing this time with McWiff finding the 5th goal.
And it's so tough because you really got to feel here for St. John's Esports because they're working their butts off, but it's just not working out for them. It's so unfortunate. It's just suffocating what they're going against in terms of Xavier, really just bringing it to them.
Yeah, and I mean, and if we look at Game 2, this is a complete flip, right? Game 2 was a very close game. It almost looked like we could have seen St. John starting to bring the momentum back a little bit. And coming into Game 3,
oh goodness,
I had hopes for St. John's.
It's tough.
But Xavier said no.
You think that Xavier would maybe slow it down because, like, all right, we have a 5-goal minute left in this game. We can just let time run out. No, they're going to take every chance that they can get and just tack on goal after goal after goal for themselves because, I mean, stats do kind of matter.
Yeah.
Especially that goal differential. It's such a close call here in week 4 for seeding. Seeding is so important. They're going to take whatever they can get, but also every time they do score a goal here, it just adds more and more to their momentum. They're going to be going into the next game, Game 4 of this series, with so much of it. It's going to be very tough for St. John's to, I guess, take another look at as that ball almost finds its way in.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to add on to your point there, right, or differentiate it a little bit. Xavier cannot afford to alleviate any pressure. They're such a momentum-based team that works well when they've got that tempo, that if they ran this minute down and let themselves cool off, it will do a adverse effect of what they want. They want to stay like this. They want to stay performing. They're in the flow of things. They're communicating really, really well. I kept finding the goal. However,
except there.
Too late at the moment.
Yeah.
But might
This is
foreshadow.
one they can kind of laugh. This is one they kind of laugh at. If they're in the right mental state, they will. But that was kind of a little bit of a disaster. I mean, lucky for them that they're up by 5 goals, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But that was not pretty. It's definitely something that maybe St. John's Esports, they're going to want to take a look at here going into Game 4 because it's ample. I mean, pack your Speedos, folks. We're going to Brazil.
We are in Brazil, and you never want to see it.
You hate to see it. It happens. 0-second goal. Xavier to take all that momentum that maybe St. John's just created getting that last goal and just flush it down the drain. It's unfortunate, but man, one of these teams is going to have to win this series. And right now, Xavier, convincing 7-1 victory here in Game 3. They're going to go into Game 4 looking hot.
Yeah, and looking over the stats, Greek, it's happened once again. The 11-goal differential, like the 11 shots even, not goal. Oh my goodness. The 11 shot differential that we saw back in game 1, right? Xavier's gained their momentum back. And look at the assists as well. They heard you game 2 where you said you didn't think they saw enough team play, because 5 assists on 7 goals is a lot more team play than we saw in game 1 or 2.
Yeah, and just looking at it, they had 7 goals, 11 shots. That's about like a 63% shot ratio for goal shot ratio, which is fantastic offensive like prowess to have. Like that's a very good turnaround. And St. John's, unfortunate, they've been limited to 2 shots, and if they play like this in game 4, it's not going to look good.
No, it's not going to look good. I mean, if Xavier keep up this momentum as well going into this possibly final game, this could be absolutely horrendous for St. John's for the moment, right? Because if they get taken to Brazil again, it's not a fun time for anybody, except for maybe the winning team.
I think what's really big here is who scores first. I think that's going to be very huge, because if you're St. John's University and you get scored on by Xavier, you just know what just happened in game 3 of this series. It's going to be a huge damper on what you're going to be able to create in this next 5 minutes or whatever of this game. So, that being said, we're going to have to see who really takes control here in game 4. Remember, folks, the best of 5 series, so if Xavier takes this one, it's going to be it. However, St. John's can force it. They'll be able to force a game 5.
Yeah, and that would be, I think, what everybody wants to see, right? We want to see St. John's win this one, just because it gives us more Rocket League to cast.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. And we've even seen some fantastic victories today. Even with the 3-0 sweep last series in favor of Butler, there's still ample opportunity here for a great series. You could still, I mean, I think this is a great series in itself. However, Satisfied Onion is like, all right, we've been complacent a little bit too much in this game. Let's start to get some shot opportunities on net.
Yeah, and Satisfied Onion is going to make a good attempt of it, but a very good clear coming out. I believe our camp was on the Octane last game, was it not?
You know, I haven't been paying too much attention to that. But mostly because I've just been looking at how this Xavier offense has just been rolling here. But this could be the opportunity they're looking for, but just going slightly off target. And this could be the breath of life that St. John's University needs. But instead, it's going to be another shot on net. And right away, we're 2 minutes in almost. We already have 5 shots on goal for Xavier, 1 shot for St. John's.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a large... That's a shot differential fairly early on. We're going to see an attempt onto goal again there. I mean, it's looking dicey. It's all... Yeah, St. John's almost finding the goal just in time. Decides to rotate back. Maybe his captain said, okay, get back on the defensive. Because we got to think about the communication coming out from these two teams as well, right? Satisfied Onion being his team's captain. And
that's an open net opportunity. Oh, no. Oh, that's rough. Oh, the fake coming out. You hate to see it. This is just disrespectful, but we're going to put on the replay for you folks to look at again. Oh, that's so rough.
You know, you say it is rough, but it's such a good read from Satisfied Onion, right? Knowing that his opposition isn't even going to consider a fake out coming because it seems like such an open goal, that as soon as he made that, that's just really good game awareness.
Yeah, it was fatal error on the defense, but now Xavier, so much time now to keep this 1-goal lead. There's going to be a lot of pressure on their end unless, or if St. John's is able to bring it back and provide some pressure, but instead it looks like they're just going to bring it back downtown, start working for goal number 2.
Yeah, and I mean, this has been the game plan of Xavier, right? They've gotten an early game, and then they just keep scoring. Like, once they get into that rhythm, into the flow, they're able to systematically score time after time. But St. John's is throwing a wrench into the well-oiled machine at the moment as they're applying a lot of pressure.
Yeah, they are. They really want to tie this one up. I mean, they have no choice, or else they're going to be going home with a loss on their record, and they'll be dropping down to 1-3. St. John's trying to go up to an even 2-2 500 record which would prove very valuable for them in terms of seeding going into the land. But let's see if Mushu has anything to say as he's able to bring this one downtown. The defense all in one position. McWiff had the open net. He had to tap that one in. That was free opportunity. Couldn't find it. Let's see if that bites him later. But for now is another attempt. Arkamp gets there in time.
Yeah, Arkamp gets a lovely save coming out there, as now it is on the onus of St. John's to try and find this. Arkamp looking to make it happen. Doesn't, unfortunately, as we see just in time. Slow the ball down, try and slow it down, let Arkamp set himself back up. He's going to try and make something happen there. Unfortunately, misses the ball. All three of St. John's whiff there as Satisfied Onion takes this opportunity, followed by McWiff, and then followed by Mushu. And Mushu, my favorite dragon, is going to find that goal.
Oh, Mushu. This is a fantastic pass, though, from McWiff, and against that backboard defense. I say it time and time again, folks. When are these players going to listen to me? I see it. I see it happening. But, goodness gracious, Xavier, they're going to take advantage of that opportunity every chance they get. And they're going to take a 2-goal lead. Here comes 3-goal lead here for McWiff, and it's looking like it's slowly getting away from St. John's University.
Yeah, it's very, very unfortunate for St. John's, as we do see another very, very quick goal coming out from McWiff. I feel like McWiff is a bit of a lying name.
Yeah, it's fibbing a little bit here and there. You know, nice play on words, but really meaning business here for the rest of the Xavier squad. They've been coming out and performing exceptionally well against St. John's, and you know, this is one of the games where I couldn't really tell who was going to be the clear victor, but Xavier coming out very strong. They did drop game 2 of this series, but even that was a close 2-1 loss. But here out, the rest of their wins, if the scoreline stays as it is, as this could be an opportunity. Primal just has to hit that in. Arkamp comes out and steals it from him. I think actually that was necessary for the goal. I think we had a defender coming back on defense. It might have been Mushu or Satisfied Onion. Oh, it was Mushu. But now, 15 seconds left. You need 2 quick goals if you're St. John's University to stay alive, force the game 5.
Yeah, and now, I mean, as long as we don't see Xavier doing this, 5 seconds apiece for these goals. It's going to be very, very difficult asking, as Just in Time gets a good clear here, sets it up. Arkamp's not in the air, though. I don't think he has the boost to make it happen either. It's going the wrong way. Satisfied Onion is going, you know what? We're getting a goal.
Padding the stats here is Xavier, and you know, this last clear, that bounce off the wall, that was killer there. They weren't expecting that at all. That just took all the time out of the clock there. And then Satisfied Onion was like, oh, well, it's in position for a goal. I'll just take that one anyways. So with that, Xavier's going to get the 3-1 in over St. John's Esports. GG's to both these teams. They both played exceptionally well. I really enjoyed this series. Could have wished for a game 5, but you know you can't have every single one go that far.
No, unfortunately, we can't have every game go that far. But you know what we can do? We can hop to a quick break as we set up our next game between Villanova and Seton Hall. We'll see you momentarily.